It'll go up quickly. Have Hanno and Abibaal's old room. Their mattresses are still there." Antigonus nodded. "Parmenion, you can sleep inside too, if you like." "Much obliged," said Parmenion, using his fingers to rake water from his tawny hair. "I think I'll ride it out here. If any water comes through those tiles, I can deal with it. Shouldn't do. I've patched the roof pretty well. But I appreciate the offer. This is going to be as bad a storm as I've seen in a long time. Come on, Dido." I shook my head. "I'm staying here. I can sleep in Porcellus's stall." "Have you lost your senses? You're soaked through, and this storm could last all night. You know Porcellus hates thunder. If he starts getting upset, the other horses will too," I pointed out. My uncle looked exasperated. "You coddle that animal like a baby. But have it your own way. Parmenion, see if you can find something dry for Dido to put on. And don't open that main door until the storm's passed, either of you, whatever you do." He and Antigonus disappeared into the deluge. I went into Porcellus's stall, which was next to Jules, and talked to him until his thumping heartbeat settled. Parmenion came back from the roof space, where he usually slept. A tunic landed on my head. "Thank you," I said, using Porcellus as cover to change out of my wet clothes. "Where are you going?" "Back up the ladder." "You can stay here with me and Porcellus?" "If you want." Parmenion raised an eyebrow. "Do you want me to?" "I don't mind." Parmenion gave a sigh of relief. "Thank Jupiter for that," he said. He eased himself into a straw-filled corner of the stall. "I'd have been petrified by myself." "You're such a fraud," I said, settling down near Porcellus and stroking his muzzle as he put it close to my face. "Making out to Scorpus that you're so brave? What would you have done if I hadn't stayed?" "Hidden under a blanket and prayed, probably. But I knew you'd stay behind with Porcellus," said Parmenion. He grinned and produced a handful of dates from the pouch on his belt, which he divided between us. I gave most of mine to Porcellus, which distracted him nicely from the rattle of the rain on the rafters. After we'd eaten, we huddled into the warm nests we'd made for ourselves in the straw. The storm had worked itself into a frenzy, and the wind was ripping at the barn like a dog tearing scraps of meat off a bone. Gusts slipped through the cracks in the masonry, making the oil lamps on the walls flicker. I glanced anxiously at the roof. "Do you think that really will leak?" I asked Parmenion, who was idly blowing a tune on a reed pipe. "Shouldn't think so." I had a sudden, unwelcome thought. "Abibaal's letter!" I searched in the folds of my discarded wet tunic. "He sent it after he arrived in Rome. I hope the rain hasn't got to it." "Why are you carrying it around with you?" "Scorpus wants me to practice my reading, and this letter is a lot more interesting than that boring history of farming he gave me." I extracted the crumpled papyrus, examined it, and was reassured. "No, it's dry, although the ink's run a little here." Parmenion put down his pipe. "Let's hear you then," he said. "You want me to read it aloud?" "Why not? It's either that or listen to me play." "If you like," I said. "Just remember, I'm not very good yet." I smoothed the yellow papyrus, still marked by its broken wax seal. The words weren't in my cousin's own hand. Abibaal had never learned his letters well enough for that. But the chariot racing factions in Rome had scribes to whom letters home could be dictated, and thanks to the education that my uncle was insisting on, despite my protests that I neither needed nor wanted it, I was now confident enough to decipher it. Slowly, I began to read aloud, the neatly inscribed words echoing through my head in my cousin's excitable, boyish voice. "I finally made it, Dido. I'm here in Rome. The city is as big as you said it would be, and the Circus Maximus is even better than I imagined. The track, the crowd,